In the quietest corner of a magical forest lived a young spider named Arlo. With silken dreams swirling in his mind, Arlo wished to weave the most splendid web the world had ever seen. Each morning, he crept out and watched the seasoned spiders spin their elaborate webs. Their designs sparkled like jewels in the sunlight, and Arlo would sigh, his heart swelling with dreams of his own dazzling creation. One day, Arlo began his practice early, hidden by the morning mist. He focused deeply, trying to recall the elegant spirals and precise lines he had seen. Today will be different, Arlo whispered to himself. But try as he might, his silk threads wobbled and sagged. A gentle breeze danced through the forest, and just like that, Arlo's hard work quivered and collapsed into a heap of sticky strings. Arlo felt a tear slide down his fuzzy cheek, but he shook it away. "I'll never stop trying," he vowed, his tiny feet tapping with determination. Bowing his little head, Arlo whispered to the green leaves above, "One day, I will weave a web as beautiful as the sunrise." And so, morning after morning, Arlo practiced weaving, pouring all his heart into each delicate string. Day after day, he observed the older spiders, memorizing their graceful moves. But no matter his resolve, his webs crumpled like wilting flowers, losing their luster before they even gleamed. Despite his struggles, Arlo was not alone. A friendly ladybug named Bee often sat beside him, her red wings dotted with black spots, glistening in the sun. "Hello, Arlo," she chirped one fine morning. "How's the spinning today?" With a sigh, Arlo replied, "It's not going too well, Bee. My web fell apart again." Bee flapped her wings gently and smiled. "I believe in you, Arlo. One day, your web will glow brighter than any other." Encouraged by Bee's kindness, Arlo spun with renewed hope. However, clouds soon gathered in the skies, darkening the afternoon. A whisper of wind became a howl, and the forest shivered as a storm roared through, tearing webs and flattening ferns. Arlo clung to a leaf, watching in dismay as his latest effort disappeared into thin air. When the winds quieted and the sun peeked timidly through the parting clouds, Arlo faced his woven disaster. Bee fluttered back to his side, nudging him with encouragement. "You're such a brave little spider, Arlo," she said softly. "Don't give up. The sun will always come back to dry the rain." This warmed Arlo's heart, and he returned to his work, inspired by the resilience of the forest around him. The sun rose warmly every day, and Arlo absorbed its light and energy, wrapping each new failure in the glow of hope. The older spiders saw Arlo's efforts and gave him tips to improve his technique, which he carefully noted. Each attempt to spin led to small improvements, and while his web still lacked the desired brilliance, Arlo felt a growing strength within. Every close observation and every bit of advice wove into Arlo's memory like twinkling stars in the night sky. His mess of strands slowly began to echo the patterns of sunlit dreams. With Bee cheering him on, Arlo found that day after day, bit by bit, his filaments grew stronger. Arlo realized through each fleeting disappointment that he was learning. His spider sense was sharpening, feeling the wind's whispers and the dew's weight. Though his masterpiece was still ahead, Arlo knew one thing. He was closer to it each sunset, as long as he paid attention to every lesson along his path. One sunny morning, as the forest awoke from its slumber, the sound of chirping birds filled the air. Arlo's eyes gleamed with determination. "Today might be the day," he said with a hopeful heart. He scurried to his favorite spot, a secluded nook framed by graceful ferns. With a deep breath, Arlo began to spin, his legs moving expertly, guided by the knowledge he had gathered. Bee, perched on a nearby twig, watched in awe. "You've really gotten good, Arlo," she remarked, her voice full of admiration. Just as all seemed to be going well, a sudden shadow swept over him. A family of playful squirrels scampered through, playfully chasing one another. In their frolic, they tumbled right through Arlo's newly spun web. The delicate threads broke apart, tangling in the squirrels' furry tails before fluttering to the ground. Arlo's heart sank, but only for a moment. Taking a deep breath, he said, "I'll just try again." Bee fluttered over, nudging him with encouragement. "You're amazing, Arlo. You don't let anything stop you." Arlo surveyed the area and chose a new corner where he set to work with even greater care than before. He began weaving again, his movements precise and quick. As he worked, he whispered softly, "Even the sun sometimes has clouds, but it doesn't stop shining." Hours slipped by, and once again a challenge arrived. A gentle but determined drizzle began to fall, its droplets heavy against the fragile web in progress. Arlo paused, watching the tiny beads of water gather on the threads, threatening to break them. He closed his eyes and focused, remembering how the sun rises each morning, no matter how much rain has fallen. Inspired by the forest's resilience, he continued to weave, finding a rhythm even amidst the raindrops' gentle taps. With Bee's optimistic chirps echoing around him, Arlo worked on. The rain eventually eased, and he felt a newfound strength in his silk. Each drop of rain seemed to give him a clearer sense of balance and design, turning adversity into unexpected beauty. Bee buzzed close, whispering, "You're closer than ever, Arlo. I can feel it." And deep within, Arlo felt it too, an unshakable belief that he was close to realizing his dream, thread by thread, day by day. As dawn broke over the forest, the golden light spilled gently through the leaves, casting bright patterns on the forest floor. Arlo awoke with a renewed sense of purpose in his many tiny toes. Today felt different. With Bee beside him, offering constant encouragement, Arlo picked a brand new spot, a quiet place where the morning sun would shine through the canopy, bathing everything in a warm glow. He began to spin with a focus born from countless trials and wisdom gleaned from every previous attempt. His legs moved with newfound grace and precision, each thread laid with care and attention. As he worked, it felt almost like the entire forest held its breath in anticipation. The leaves seemed to whisper, and the birds paused their songs, watching the young spider weave his dream into being. Time seemed to stand still as Arlo worked, spinning, weaving, and adjusting each delicate string with a gentle touch. Bee watched, her wings shimmering with excitement. "This is it, Arlo," she whispered softly. The sun continued its climb into the sky, and as its first rays breached the trees, they kissed Arlo's web. A dazzling spectrum of colours danced through the filaments, shimmering like a tapestry of rainbows. Arlo paused, heart pounding with wonder. His web was no longer just a weave of silk. It was a masterpiece painted by the sunlight itself. The forest hummed with murmurs of admiration as creatures big and small came to marvel at the delicate beauty of Arlo's web. The once wobbly designs now stretched elegantly across the trees, telling a story of perseverance and heart. Bee buzzed around, beaming with pride. "Look at what you've done, Arlo. It's even more beautiful than the sunrise," she exclaimed, her voice ringing with pure joy. Arlo looked at his artwork, and a warm feeling spread through him. His hard work and resilience had finally paid off. The web stood as a testament not only to his skill but to his spirit. He realized that every tear, every setback, and every drop of rain had been part of his journey. And so, nestled in his cozy corner, Arlo understood the quiet truth within his heart. No matter how often the world challenges you, the strength to rise and try again is what truly makes you shine.
If you enjoyed this story, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future content.